The Halfbrick Show.
Welcome to the Halfbrick Show, your festive behind-the-scenes peek into the teams making your favorite games. Even during the season of food comas and questionable jumpers, unless you're in Australia, in which case you're probably not wearing jumpers, we're still here. We're still pumping the show.
Well, it was a show after Christmas, and all through the feed, not a comment was stirring except Dan the Man 2 when typed at lightning speed. Good tidings, listeners. I'm Fran, your resident Brit at Halfbrick. I am out there braving the frosty UK air, replying to your messages and narrating this holiday tale in far more dramatic way than anyone really asked for.
And 'twas the intro after Friends that Aiden said hello in third person, apparently. And I hope that everyone's having safe and happy holidays so far. We're also joined, as always, by the jolly holiday producer of the Halfbrick Show present, Carmen.
Jolly.
Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy to be here as usual. It is a very festive episode that we have got planned today. And I hope that everyone listening can share it with their family, loved ones, or in my case, my mom, who has been complaining that I don't speak enough on the podcast. So, hi, Mom. Happy holidays.
Yay.
Hi,
Shout out
Carmen's
Carmen's
mom.
She's called Carmen as well. So we can call her
Oh.
Carmen Squared.
Hi,
Carmen's
Carmen.
word. Nice.
Wow.
Well, if you have any ideas, questions, or festive wishes or shout outs to your own mothers for the show,
Hi,
then
Mom.
just
Sorry.
drop them in the comments, send them on Discord, or just email us at our wonderful email, theshow@halfbrick.com.
Thank you, Carmen. Also, hello to my mum. Hope you're also having a lovely day. On the topic of emails and feedback, for 2026, Halfbrick will have a bit of an all-hands event where we bring together our entire team from around the world for an in-person catch-up. We figure this is our chance to bring the mic to them directly and record some IRL episodes for you to listen to. So if you have any specific questions that you want us to bring to their hot seat, send them through and we'll see if we can get them. So it's the same email, theshow@halfbrick.com.
Cool. That sounds cool, doesn't it?
It's such a good
Halfbrick-
email.
This Halfbrick Show live as well.
Oh, the live.
Right?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the email address. Yeah.
I mean, that's just an iconic email.
It is.
But, you know, Halfbrick
It's
Show.
going to be really cool. The three of
yeah.
us as well will also have our first kind of all sitting around the same table recording session, I guess, for a show,
Right.
which is really
We'll
cool.
get to discuss each other's heights in person.
So that all the listeners can imagine it.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do some describing words, can't we, for them? Well, moving swiftly on to our next guest.
Guess it
Um,
are.
Well, yeah, we can guess the guest. It's someone who I like to describe as my brother from another mother.
Who the brick are you?
He's our community manager, Lucas. So, Lucas,
Hey, Lucas.
who the
How you
brick
doing?
are you?
Hello, Aiden. Hello, friend. Hello, Carmen. Thanks for inviting me for the Halfbrick Show. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, who the brick are you? Lucas version. Well, I'm obviously Lucas, and I'm a 30 years old dude from Brazil. And Brazil is such a huge country, so I guess it's important to say that I'm near São Paulo, just so you have some better reference. I love house music and I love to dance, but I don't know, maybe that's a bit irrelevant for now, but that's slightly a bit
No.
about me.
Can we see that when we have our big team meeting? Can we
Oh,
prove
yeah.
that? We won't prove it on the
Yeah.
show, but I'd love to see that
Yeah,
personally.
I'll dance for everyone.
Thanks, man.
I would personally like to see you pull some maneuvers for us, dance style. I actually know that you are pretty big into your music and your DJing. I would personally love to hear some of your stories.
Well, in the sense of music in general or general life things?
Both, just both.
Just both. Well, I study in a course that makes absolutely no sense with the things I do right now. I study
Oh,
gerontology. If you ever heard about that, that's about, health courses. And during my university times, I had a lot of interaction with very cool people. And that's pretty much how I got into, electronic music and stuff. And that was pretty interesting time in my life. It was about 2015, and I had my own party with my friends, which was called Go Bang. And yeah, nice. And that's basically how I started to DJing. Actually, in fact, a couple years later, that was 2016. But I started to listening and
right.
start to develop, my tasting music around that time. Electronic music around that time, which was really fun. And I lived with a bunch of friends, had a very very fun life at the time in my in college and stuff. And yes, once I graduated, I started to work. I did a lot of crazy different stuff. I was even a drone pilot at some point.
What?
And yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Part of me
Yeah.
wants to give you a minute to describe your job as a drone pilot, starting from now.
Starting from now, I was basically driving a lot, like thousands and thousands of kilometers, like every week. And I was essentially going to farms and, taking pictures of orange trees
Oh,
because that was useful to make orange trees better. And if you know, Brazil
right.
is very, very strong in the orange business, I guess.
I
So we do
mean,
have a
I
lot of
I
orange.
didn't know
You
actually. I
didn't know
mean,
about that?
no.
That is
Sorry,
surprising, friend.
terrible human
we
being.
we are very strong
So it's
with
like
the
orange security?
not really. It's more like
Mm.
orange crops
Yeah, yeah,
improvement,
yeah.
The
basically,
fruit.
Wow.
Oh,
fruit. And that was a lot of fun, because I was living with actually some friends, they were also co-works, but I was actually living together with them. And that was I think that was one of the most craziest, job experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
That was so random.
It's
That
a
was
random
really,
one.
really random. But I learned a lot. And, as I said, I was basically driving thousands of kilometers every month. And I just got my driver's license. So it was a bit of an experience to me, to drive so much
Mm.
just after, getting my driving's license. So that was funny.
How
Learned
does
a lot
that
about that.
lead to community
that's
manager? Sorry, friend. I just got to ask.
yeah. My brain was going in exactly the same direction as
Yeah.
Jaden. So
No, I think that's a very, very valid question,
Okay.
guys.
It's such a
Sorry,
good
1 second.
question that you need to build up.
Oh, because my dog was my dog was
Yeah,
actually
bring the dog
scratching
on.
the door because
well, we could have brought the dog on the podcast too.
I should. The boy literally comes in the room and scratch his way out. But when he's out, he scratch his way in. So like, bro, make up
Oh.
your mind, just decide. But well, well, eventually I figured out that being a drone pilot was not for me. It's not like was a funny
Mm.
job, but I was not like really into that. And I think that's part of figuring out who you are, through job experiences, to being out there finding new ways of working and bringing value to people and bringing value to the world. I was like, okay, let me figure it out. I took like a 6 month break, and I was like, let me figure it out what I'm going to do next. Yeah, because I told you I've been to places, I did so many different stuff.
Mm.
I also worked in support, for example. So that was also a very important part of my professional life. And then I was like, what's the next step I can take? Is there something else that I can do, that I would like to do? And I started to search for jobs in gaming. I was like, okay, I've been to support. I know I can, at least at that point, I knew I could do that. uh, it's also very hard to be on support, dealing with players, dealing with people in general. When you have a job where you
Mm.
actually need to deal with people, it consumes a lot. It's a lot of effort,
Yeah, I can
but
relate.
it can also be really fun. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, what can I do next? And I have just heard about this role of a customer experience manager, and which you're not necessarily a manager. You're just like a
Mm.
customer experience analyst or something like that. I was like, oh, this seems like an interesting next step. So let me read a bit about this job and stuff within the gaming business. And I was searching for jobs, and then I found about this role that I have never heard before, which was like a community manager. So I started to read, the a little bit more about this particular role, about being a community manager, and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting actually. So I gave it a try, and I applied to a few customer experience jobs, and I applied
Mm.
to one single job as a community manager, and I got this job, and
Wow.
yeah, and it was in a Brazilian company. They did word games. They still do word games. They have some
Yeah,
pretty
nice.
famous ones and pretty cool games.
Yeah.
And I was basically working there, for I worked there for like 2.5 years, and then I moved it to Halfbrick, and that's what I'm doing community management right now. So that's
Yeah.
how I got into well, the games industry, and job
Mm.
community management as a job basically. And yeah, but everything came from my previous experiences as a the support analyst, and
Not as a
also
drone
from
pilot.
not as a drone pilot. I started my career as a support analyst.
How is that like community management? I guess none of it touches in the Halfbrick, right? That's apart from obviously the previous community work. You don't touch a drone at Halfbrick. What do you do as community manager
Yeah.
for Halfbrick for
No,
those who haven't actually met you in Discord?
well, I talk to players, I understand what they like, what they dislike about our games. I usually catch bugs really fast because there is no way you're gonna be in the
Yeah.
community and people won't be talking about bugs
Mm.
in our games. That's part of the job. No, it's part of developing games. There will be bugs and people will report that. So I just need to make sure that the devs are aware of some of these bugs, and they're working and fixing. And I usually bring answers to the players about everything related to Halfbrick and its games. And I gotta say that I usually work as basically, being a community manager is basically being,
Yeah.
a bridge between the players and the devs. Obviously I try to, have fun times with people, making events, sometimes giving away some free Half Brick Plus time, which is nice. People love it. And, generally chatting with people, showing them the new games, the new projects that we are working on in a project called the Closed Beta testing project. And yeah, by the
Oh,
way, we
good.
currently have 3 games in Closed Beta. We have Scraptics, we have Battle Slingers, and we have Gun Crypt. So if you cannot find these games on the stores, it's because they are not live yet. But you can play them before everybody else if you are in the Halfbrick community. So what about that?
It is pretty exciting. I mean, we've
Yeah.
maybe spoken a little bit about you and Gun Crypt in a previous episode.
We have.
Repeat
I've heard
listeners would
about
know.
that. I've
Yeah.
heard about that.
Yes, a certain
And I gotta
Oh, have
brag
you?
about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm great at Gun Crypt.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm not in top 5, but I'm great at Gun
I
Crypt.
do think you would beat me at Gun Crypt. I would love to see a
Yeah.
head-to-head against you and Wolfgang at some point. Um, I don't know. I
Mm,
feel like just to settle that
yeah.
kind of potential rivalry that came out of that.
It
I
would
was
be.
I was better than Wolfgang at some point, but then I could never. Then he got a little bit better than me, and I just simply cannot. It's just way too hard, man. It's way too hard.
Yeah, but it's really cool. Those 3 different closed beta games. It's pretty cool.
Mm.
Pretty
Yes,
cool little
yes,
community.
they're
Well,
amazing
not
games.
little at this point. It's growing. The
Yeah,
Half Brick Discord, and it's just every game's in that one now, right? Like that was one of the things you did
yeah,
at
yeah.
Half Brick. You brought them all into one kind of
Yeah,
Discord.
I think that was a movement that made a lot of sense because, Halfbrick as a company, as a gaming company had a lot, still have a lot of games,
Mm.
and these games are all over the place, so we have like Fruit Ninja, we have Jetpack Joyride, we have Tandem Man, and many, many other games. And we also had a bunch of communities, but sometimes you would have people, that would be in the JJ community, but would not be in the Fruit Ninja or would not be in the Denman community. And you never know, maybe these people can actually have fun with these games. So
Yeah.
Halfbrick brought everything together within Halfbrick Plus. And I did the same for our communities. So we had, as I said, we had the JJ community, the Denman community. Some of these communities were actually made by fans
Oh,
years and years ago.
right.
Yeah, like the Den Man community was made by
Oh,
fans many
I was
years
the same
ago.
by me.
Before you
And
can
I was like, maybe I should. Oh, sorry. I was like, maybe I should bring everyone together in the Halfbrick community where you
Yeah.
can have all the Halfbrick fans in the same place. And now we have people playing several games within the community, not only being, uh, within a single games space, Now these people are playing the closed beta games, now these people are playing, different games that we have. Now these people are learning from other people about other games and becoming better on these games. So I think it was an important movement to bring everyone together, like a huge, big family of fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a really good job in your Discord. So
Yeah, thank you.
good job.
Sister from another mister.
We asked this question to everyone. What is
Yep.
your favorite game and why?
That is a deep question, actually. Well, I think there are a lot of games that I love from different stages of my life, but I guess that the strongest ones for me, and I have two, I guess that both Cool Borders 2, the snowboard game from
I
PS1.
love
Oh,
that game. Oh, it's so
Yes.
good.
Yeah, and also Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, also
yes.
from
Mhm.
PS1,
Okay, that's good.
were incredible.
Mm.
And I played so much of these games, and they were very important in forming, my musical taste, to
Oh,
this day,
sure.
all that drum and bass, rock, punk rock, hip hop, all those tracks were incredible. And, I can still remember, Goldfinger, Superman playing in the back of my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
It's such a good track.
Yeah. Well, I also need to say that I could play as Bob Burnquist, who's also, like a Brazilian skater. So, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But
Those games are
yeah.
something special. I don't
Yeah.
think
Like,
the remake ones had the track editor.
nah,
Was that in the old ones as well, or is that a different Tony Hawk I'm thinking of?
there was track editor in the first ones.
Mm.
Not 100% sure if in the first, but in the second you did. And, but for me, I gotta say that Cool Borders 2 was very important because it was literally
Mm.
the first game I played on the PS1. The very
Oh.
first.
Wow.
And my dad got that PS1, like was unused one, was like not a brand new. So we went to this guy house selling his PS1, and I was like, he was like, oh wow, this is how the video game looks like. Give it a try. And that was Cool Borders too. It was like just sliding on that blue ice. Was
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Wow.
It was
Those.
it was brilliant as well. They brought
Yeah.
out Cool Borders 3 and it was just no way as good as the second game.
Not as good. Right.
It's great.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't good. I
Huh.
mean, it was okay. Maybe if you hadn't played Cool Borders 2. Cool Borders 2 was just so good. Me and
Yeah.
my friend Amy, I'm giving you a shout out if you ever listen to this, which you probably won't. But me and
Hello,
her,
Amy.
yeah,
Amy.
Amy, me and her would play it for hours and hours, doing the half pipes and the full pipes. Just it was a brilliant game. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
And I mean, I was 5 years old when I saw that, and I was like mesmerized. Like, this is very realistic. But then you look at the gameplays now, and it's not really that realistic. But it did
It
look
was
very
of a
realistic
time
at the
though,
time.
right?
Mm.
Yeah,
It was PS1 game.
The
Yeah.
vibes are still immaculate for those
Right.
type of games.
No, it's great. It was great.
Controversial question, maybe controversial statement. I would say the SSX games were better snowboarding games, personally.
They're very cool games, actually.
Is there much
But
different? I haven't played much Cool Borders at all. Do they have the cool music and tricks?
for me, Cool Borders was. I have two very important memories about Cool Borders. Besides the music,
Right.
but you're in the snow, right? So you have like all these white area, but you have some blue areas where the sound is different, it's more crispy,
Oh.
and it's a fast area, so you can really get into those areas, so you can jump higher. And I can still listen to that crackling noise of actual ice, not snow, and those orange fences on the side. It's always going to that those areas, but I can see those things, and I don't have a lot of memories of SSX, I guess. But
Right.
for still having those two particular memories, again, despite the music, is just so real to me and brings me back to when I was 5, so 25 years ago.
Wow, that's the
So
one you close your eyes and see.
exactly.
So cool.
That was literally what I was doing right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Take you away from the snow and into the clouds for a lightning round. Surely a good segue. Surely you heard an episode before. Couple are out by now. We have a lightning round quiz. For you, we have a special one, and we're calling this the fan service edition. 3 surprise questions from the Discord community. So your community, specifically for you, about you. All right.
Oh,
So there's a little
that's
note on this
interesting.
run sheet. We know you like to talk, so we're going to give you a minute to answer each question. All right?
All
You'll
right.
have the air to think, and if you want to share as much as you can. 3
Okay.
questions. Question 1's from me. Well, it's not from me. It's from a community member, but I'm saying this one.
Call it Aiden Ryan.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't have that as my username in Discord. But definitely from a cooler community member than me. So question 1, how hard is it to keep the secrets of meetings and other internal Halfbrick info that you get?
Oh, that's very easy to answer.
So
It's
like,
very hard.
it's hard.
It's very hard. I just cannot. I gotta say sometimes, I might be judged for that. I hope no. I hope Shaz doesn't listen to this, but I do share some spoilers from time to time, and not sure if I should saying that here, but I remember there was one time, like last year, sometime around, last year, where I shared like 5 spoilers
friend
right
knows.
away, boom, like, and I was like, Lucas, what are you doing? I should have said that.
Can we say what they are? Has it become known, like common knowledge now? Can we reveal what those ones were?
It's probably, the time is probably gone, right? So these things have probably happened already. I'm assuming.
No, some of these things happened. Some of these things didn't happen. So I set the wrong expectations, Yeah, so I said, so there is a very famous guy. He's kind of responsible for very important titles, like Dan the Man and Bluey,
Right.
And I was like, yeah, guys, we're going to have a Discord meeting, a Discord session, questions and answers with this guy.
Oh.
And that never happened. But it was something that we were expecting to have. But then we figured out that this guy is not really into Discord, and he's very, very chill. And so that was that backfired a bit.
Well, things like that happen, people pull out at the last minute of interviews and AMAs and stuff like that. So you weren't technically going to know that was going to happen.
No.
There was like 4 more. I don't remember all of them, but there was also another one which was about to release, And I was like, yeah, we're about to release this particular game, which I don't really remember which game that was. And social media, Fran hasn't shared this yet, and no one else has shared this yet. And that was me like saying, hey, we're releasing this thing. But at that point I was like, bro, I'm the community manager. I am supposed to give information to everybody before everybody else. These are the very, very best fans. They're in the community, they're playing our games like every day. They're I was like, I should give them something, and this something at that point was, spoilers.
If this isn't a good ad or plug to go and join the Discord, because that's probably where you'll hear news first.
Yeah, I just cannot be quiet.
Oh, no.
So it's very hard for me to keep secrets about, the meetings and stuff. Yeah. Although I never told anyone about when the Element 2 is going to be released. So, yeah.
Well, moving swiftly on to our next question. Do you have anything to say for the Guncrypt dev? I heard rumors that he, brackets Wolfgang, challenged you in episode 1.
I do. Of course I do. First question for Wolfgang and the Guncrypt team is, how dare you?
Oof.
Oof. And the second question is, why? Why have you added 2 bosses in Chorus level 5? I know the answer. It's because, and Wolfgang say that, is because the community was eating GunCrypt like so fast, because the devs apparently they weren't very good at GunCrypt at that time that they developed the game. So they had a very hard time beating, the 5 curse levels.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, the community just destroyed this game. So how are we going to make this impossible for them? So they literally just add another extra boss in a game that was a very, very hard game already. And, like less than 24 hours, someone goes there and beat it. So it's like, take that, go good. And, but the thing is, that was the why. But I still have this why in the back of my mind, it's just straight so hard. But the community is still getting, those extremely high scores, 26,000 points at some point. And if you ever play GunCrypt, getting up to 26,000 points, bro, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It is possible because someone did it. But this someone is not you. Sorry. So,
Well,
yeah.
speaking of challenges, if you had to pick one, which game would you like to challenge Shaz into to prove that you can beat him in that game, if that's even possible?
Either GunCrypt or Scraptics. I've been playing so much of these games because of the beta test, the closed beta testing. Right. And I'm proud to say that I'm really above average in these 2 games,
Oh, I know.
Really, really above average. So I think I will have a chance of beating Shaz within GunCrypt or Battle Slingers. Oh, sorry, in Scraptics. Maybe even in Battle Slingers.
Would you take him in Thrill of the Fight too? He's
No
quite involved in that game.
No way.
I'd love to see you try though.
Yeah.
I don't stand a chance. I know Shaz has been playing Thrill of the Fight with Tony Jeffries, like for 12 rounds.
Yes.
Over and over again. And whenever I play Thrill of the Fight, I play like 3-minute rounds and I'm dead. So Shaz would just need to stand there, and get me tired, and I'll definitely knock it out.
Tire yourself out.
No time.
You wouldn't even have to move. You just
no, just stand there and I'll be tired already. So
just you look at Shaz and then you're already knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also because he's super tall, right? And I can imagine that his reach is insane. So
well, it's
he
good
doesn't
to know.
need to walk to hit me probably.
For whatever game we end up somehow getting you to take Shaz on in at some point.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to Micro as well in the Discord for getting these questions for us. Thank you, Micro.
Yeah, thank you, Micro.
And for the Rascals questions that are coming up as well.
How can I make this about Rasmus?
Right, honestly. A bit more community related stuff for you as well. We have guests. Oh, I've just reversed what Fran did at the start of this episode. We have guests, the community comment.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. So this time we also have 3 for you from the community.
Okay.
It should be easy. As easy as managing a Discord community.
Not that
is
easy.
actually easy. Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So I'm going to run you through these ones. We'll try and quick fire them. Okay. There's 3. The first one, and for all of them, real or made up by any of us.
Okay.
First one, quote, "It is a fact. You gotta love Halfbrick!" ! End quote.
It is a fact. You gotta love Halfbrick.
Yep.
If that is a real community comment or is made up.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it's a made up comment.
Shall we reveal them each time? Yeah. All right. First one, unfortunately, is wrong, Lucas. This one is real.
It's a real
Someone
one.
really loves us.
They really, really.
Oh no,
love
sorry,
us.
I got that wrong. I got that wrong.
That's all right. You got 2 more. You think it was the other way around with House?
No,
no,
get out of it, Lucas. No,
I actually thought that someone told me in the community, like, Lucas, you really have to love Halfbrick. And despite I do love, I was not thinking that
you can't talk
someone
your way
would
out of
say
this,
that.
Lucas.
All right.
No, we're not taking your excused answer. So
That is my job as a community manager.
to waffle your way through life.
Exactly.
I get it. Right.
Another community manager related one.
All right.
Maybe some PTSD for you. Comment 2.
Oh,
Quote, Halfbrick, make a Barry plush and a Craig plush. End quote. Real or fake?
No, that's real.
That's real?
That's real. Yeah, someone definitely say that, but we only did the JJ plush, the Barry plush.
With Barry. That one is real. Congratulations. That one, you knew straight away from that one. You know, you've got too much Barry plush in your mind from
I do.
when that one was up for pre-order.
Yeah, 2 years working on that.
Oh my goodness, was it really 2 years?
Yeah, I've been working on that for 1 year and a half, but Halfbrick has been working there on that thing for 2 years. So yeah,
Wow.
Barry takes a lot of time to be ready, I guess.
Yeah, it is very
Got to read
cool.
those sleeves. Yep.
Still waiting to see them. I actually can't wait to get our hands on one. Maybe at the all hands gathering thing, we might see one in person. We'll see.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 50-50 so far. You've got one last comment to get you into the green. Overall winner. Comment 3. Quote. Halfbrick, I would give my first child for Dan the Man too. What are you waiting for? End quote.
I'm pretty sure this is real.
I'm
pretty sure this is real. It cannot be made up. I'm pretty sure if you search that in the community, you probably will find that quote.
you might be reasonably right, yet this one's fake. This exact one is fake.
I gotta disagree with that. I'm pretty sure someone said that.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, Carmen.
That was me.
Oh yeah, Carmen said that.
So technically real, but not from the community. Questions normally, where is Dan the Man 2? But what do you think? Do we need human sacrifice to find out where Dan the Man 2 is?
I hope not.
Okay.
And if so, I hope it's not me.
The community might turn to their first point of contact when the human sacrifice time is upon us. You better be careful.
Good.
No other insights on Dan the Man 2 you want to share? Community leaker man?
I do have some things to say about Deadman 2. I guess it's, or at least within the community realm, the most awaited game,
Yeah.
and it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
The Halfbrick team is actually working on that game. Sometimes people go and they say, it's been 10 years.
10?
Next year is going to be 10 years.
Oh, since
then the man,
right?
Yeah, since then the man won, and Halfbrick's taking way too long to develop this game. And sometimes I wonder, do you really think we just released Denderman 1 and say, yeah, let's go develop Denderman 2? And we've been working on that game for 9 years. It took us a while, probably, to be like, yeah, maybe we should develop Denderman 2, probably a few years. So I don't think we are working on Denderman 2 for, 9 years, right away. We just developed Denderman 1. Let's develop Denderman 2. I don't think that's the case.
We're not at GTA level yet. Not at GTA 6.
Yeah, no, we're not. I don't think we are into that type of thing. It's too heavy. But it's coming, and I gotta say, you said how hard is for you, Lucas, to keep spoilers. I'm gonna share one right now. We actually have a date for the release of this long-awaited title.
What? News to me. Can we?
Yes,
Which title though?
Yeah.
Denderman 2. Denderman 2.
Lucas, is this real? Are you?
As everybody knows, it's coming on summer 2023. Make sure not to miss it, guys. We've been waiting for this for too long now. But it's right there around the corner.
Lucas.
It's coming summer 2023, guys.
Right.
Be ready.
Right.
Okay.
Moving swiftly on.
Make sure not to miss it.
On other notes, talking of games that are actually released ones, you can check out our latest game, Bluey's Quest for the Gold Pen, which launched worldwide on the App Store and coming in 2026 to Google Play, console, and PC. With fully animated cutscenes and characters woven into an all-new story written by Joe Brum, Bluey's Quest for the Gold Pen blends heartfelt storytelling with discovery-driven gameplay.
It's really good.
My mum loves it. Shout out to my mum again.
I should get my mum to play that one as well.
She was very impressed.
Is she a Bluey enjoyer?
Not necessarily, but she likes a mobile game.
Nice.
A big Fruit Ninja fan as well.
Oh, respect for that. Thank you, Fran's mum.
Is
So
she a
nice.
Billy enjoyer?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a very
She-
mom-friendly episode
This is a
today.
great
We
episode
discount
for
for
mom.
the human sacrifice. I have one question. Last question for you, Lucas, before you go off into and we release you into the wild community or whatever it is you do. What's one thing that the working in the games industry has taught you that wasn't actually in the job description?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, something that you see in the job description and you just understand that it's not necessarily about that. It's like not everything is about, numbers, indicators, KPIs as a whole thing. I think that for a community manager, the impact you can have on people's lives is the main thing. So talking to them and being friends with them is the thing that really conveys trust and connection to the brand.
Right.
So people see how Halfbrick cares about its players when we are there playing with them and having real, honest conversations and connections. I think it's obviously it's a job. I'm the community manager of Halfbrick, of
Right.
course, but that doesn't mean I'm not friends with the people in there. We don't share our feelings, we don't talk about our personal lives, and we have a lot of fun together. And I think this is the main important, the main thing, the most important thing. People can actually tell us exactly what they think, and we are not mad about that. We care about that, and we want to do something to improve if that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
But you can talk to us. We don't bite. We are very cool people, actually.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Carmen.
Lucas. And thank you for your service to the community as well.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you also for joining this episode, joining the Halfbrick Show. It's been great to have you on. Do want to say one more time that if you're not in the amazing Discord that Lucas is such a lovely part of, you can find the link to that. It should be in the description, possibly on YouTube. There's our link tree. That's everywhere in the socials. There's a link tree. Click on that.
Yeah.
Discord will be on that link tree. And yeah, thank you, Lucas.
Yeah. Much appreciated as always.
And happy holidays to you as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
happy
everyone,
holidays.
and Fran, Carmen, yeah. I hope you guys
Yeah.
are having a good holiday.
Happy
when this is out.
holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming. Mariah Carey is already defrosting. Amazing.
By the time this one's out, she's out
Defrosting.
your door or
Yeah.
in your house.
She's
I
been
don't know.
defrosted.
Oh
With
yeah.
the
Is it
exact
defrosted
date.
already?
Oh yeah.
And hopefully
No.
we've eaten tons of food and had a jolly good time, I guess.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wouldn't say no.
But yeah, happy holidays and seasons greetings and all that lot. And we hope this has been
An experience.
that was for me trying to say words. We hope this has been an episode you can look back on with nostalgia. So thank you for joining us once again for this jolly episode of the Halfbrick Show.
Woohoo. We really chose a bit of an elaborate outro line, didn't we? To try and say off the cuff each time.
Coming up next time on the Halfbrick Show.
All right, then, Aiden,
Yeah,
then
sorry,
you'd have to
yeah,
explain
yeah,
why you wouldn't actually play it. You just buy it.
And I would say it's just because it's what I do.
Yeah,
And
it
I
is
feel
what
like
you do.
if I said actually,
His brand.
it would be lying. You guys would think